On today's Minute of the Apes, I got gifts for you guys.
They greenlit the sequel without a story in mind. They just wanted to equal an unexpected gold mine. He said, oh no, as Heston said, I got to go. These are just some of the facts you ought to know as we go. Beneath the Minute of the Apes. Beneath the Minute of the Apes. Beneath the Minute of the Apes.
The only good human is a dead human.
Hello and welcome to Minute of the Apes, the daily podcast where we break down every minute of the Planet of the Apes movies. It's Monday. That means that I am Todd, and that means that you are Richard and Sean.
Yes.
That's us.
Yes.
All right, so we're going to start off real quick before we get to the gifts, because I'm excited to know what the gifts are.
All right.
But before we do that, let's do our housekeeping. Let's thank everybody in the Movies by Minute family. There are a ton of them out there. I've seen a lot of people launching stuff right now, so go check out these people. You can find it at moviesbyminute.com. And, of course, the granddaddies of them all, the Star Wars Minute. We say every week, go support them. Tell them how much you love them, because we wouldn't be here if they weren't doing what they do on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Now, all that out of the way, gifts.
Yeah, yes. All right. So they actually happen to be Planet of the Apes gifts.
Oh.
I think they work with the theme. So there's a company called Super 7, and they have their line imported by Funko. The same people that do the Pop figures. You know,
Nice.
the popular figures you see at the stores,
Yeah.
Pop Funko Pop. And this line by Super 7, distributed by Funko, is called Reaction. And they did a line of 6 figures based upon Planet of the Apes and Beneath the Planet of the Apes. Now, the Reaction line is specifically intended to look like classic Star Wars figures.
Oh.
They're the 3 3/4 height with minimal articulation, kind of, some sculpting, but a little bit
they're not
blocky in the way
super
that they're done.
detailed.
Exactly. Right.
Well, it's like with Taylor has a little bit of muscular definition.
Right.
So it's today's standards, but you're absolutely right. It has the very straight kind of
right.
legs.
The paint job isn't expert. There's
Yeah.
little dots on Dr. Zaius's eyes as opposed to having the wrinkles painted in. So they basically produced Cornelius, Nova, Taylor, Ursus, Zaius, and Zira, and the first 4 have come out.
4 or 3?
4: Cornelius, Ursus, Zaius, and Taylor, and we're waiting on Nova and Zira to ship. So I got you the first 4, and when the other 2 come in, we'll have them. So now we can have our own we can build a play set and go outside.
We can make our own dioramas.
We can make our
We
own
can play
dioramas.
together.
We can make our own stories for them.
First off, you are so sweet. Second, that's the perks of having a guy on the show that owns a comic book store.
That's true. They can buy them at Zeus Comics, ZeusComics.com if anybody wants to pick these up. What I find interesting is the 6 choices are kind of the only choices.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, these are the characters. I don't know that they could. Sometimes when they do assortment of action figures, they will, release a few, but they won't put all the key characters in the first wave because
Right.
they want to make a second wave.
They didn't want to do a stuffed Dodge one.
So maybe the next wave, too, is going to be all mutant telepathy people.
That brings us back to this week, though, doesn't it? Yeah,
It does. It fits exactly. And now one thing I love on here is right at the top, warning, choking hazard may contain small parts. And over here it says adult collectible, not a toy.
It's for ages 14 and up.
So I'm going to keep away from my small niece because she'll shove it in her mouth. But boy, those are freaking cool. I didn't know they went after Star Wars figures, but now it makes sense.
Yeah. I noticed that the only 2 female are in the second wave, and they have no accessories. And all the males have accessories.
Well,
they didn't give her like a necklace, a Taylor,
They didn't give her
a Taylor dog tag.
Yeah,
to
the dog
wrap
tag in
around
her hand.
they didn't give Zira a banana.
Or her chocolate icing bowl.
Yes.
Richard, you are awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I think they're kind of neat. I mean, it's interesting that the front of the package says specifically Dr. Zaius, Planet of the Apes 1968 action figure, and Ursus is the only one that has a different debut movie on it.
His says Beneath the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
I like that, though, that they put the film that it's from. I mean, that's a very cool little tag on it. I also like that Reaction looks a little like the old Kenner
Yeah.
logo.
Yeah.
Wasn't Zira a doctor too? Technically, shouldn't she be Dr. Zira?
Yeah.
Come on.
Zira,
She didn't
Dr.
go
Zira.
to ape school for 8 years and be called Zira.
Would it also be called Dr. Cornelius?
You also didn't notice, Sean, that Richard, for the first time ever, just played on the Dr. Zaius. Dr. Zaius, I swear that's the first time he's ever seen it.
I've never done it.
And you just did it,
I
Dr.
just
Zira,
did it.
Dr.
I
Zira.
did it for Zira. What I find difficult about these packaging for me is I love the painted artwork on the front. So this is as an adult collectible toy. This is one of the ones. Do I open it?
Do
I
or
I was
even
just
package?
wondering that.
Yeah.
I mean, I really want to
I like-
have the figures out so I can set them around on the desk. But at
Right.
the same time, I like the painted artwork so much. I don't,
I don't
want
want
it
to
to go
destroy
away.
it. Yeah.
They do such a great job with the characters on the cards too. I mean, that definitely has a Maurice Evans look to it. It's pretty accurate to the painting.
I mean, look at his little monkey feet,
Yeah, they did.
his little monkey shoes, monkey boots.
and he's also got the little peg holes that are almost the
Yeah, so
exact
they
same
can-
size as
Yeah.
the
Star
Kenner
Wars
ones from
ones, yeah.
So-
We may have to.
You can put them in your dioramas at your
oh
house.
my God! I'm gonna put him in the Millennium Falcon.
There you go.
My fantasy will come true now.
I'm gonna get one of the old Sandcrawler play sets that have
There
the
you go.
plastic molding that was, beige when they would do the
Right.
desert, and then it was just painted white when they went into the
Uh-huh.
snow.
Snow,
yeah.
Just get one of those and put them on the desert one.
I did notice it says, "This is not a toy, but a collector's item and not suitable for children. The product may contain breakable, sharp-edged, and small parts."
You want to take his away from him?
I know.
Richard?
Yeah, we might need
Don't-
to take this away from Sean by the end of the week.
Yeah.
It's going to be bad for him. Well, thank you
Thank you.
again. What a way to start off a Monday.
Yeah.
You are awesome.
Gifts.
Okay, so let's do this. We are into Beneath the Planet of the Apes. We are at minute 61.
yes.
So, Sean, why don't you tell us what's going on?
All right, we're going to start with minute 61 with Brent still facing the people on the stairs and ends with Brent saying he's come for Taylor.
Let's take a listen to minute 61 of Beneath the Planet of the Apes.
Who are you? Brent. Who are you? I see the only reality in the universe. Well, that's nice to know. Got here by accident. How did you get here? Oh, wait a minute, you got it all wrong. Why would I want to spy on you? I'm not even sure you exist. Of course I know who I am. I'm an astronaut. I was sent here on a rescue mission to find a fellow astronaut, Taylor.
All right, it's minute 61. We have 3 living humans. I'm changing the designation now. I'm calling it a Psychor telepath. I'm bringing a little Babylon 5 into it.
Oh, God. Okay, I like it.
4 dead humans, 1 dead ape, a sureness of apes, and a gaggle of humans.
Well, I'm a little thrown off by Babylon 5. I shouldn't be. I should have
I
expected
can make
that.
everything go to Babylon
I know
5.
you can, my friend. I know you can. So this entire minute, I have to make an all-inclusive comment before we get into the granularity of the moment. I would love to see, and I may do it myself, someone cut this minute together, replacing the with the wah, 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 wah from the Charlie
Wah,
Brown
wah.
thing. It would somehow be so much more descriptive with the adult trombone muted sound. I want that to
Or
happen.
replace it just with fart noises every time. What? Who are you people? What?
That would be funny. We can start a whole video cutting thing for
Uh-huh.
this. Okay. So, buzz noises. Buzz noises don't change with telepathy. It doesn't matter the length of your statement. The
Yeah, it
severity it's just
beep. So they're getting all the information in there very quickly.
and it's never
Beep.
Not in today's minute.
Yeah, there are some rapid fire ones later in the
not
week.
in today's minute. Today's minute is very much the introduction of it's the continuation of the telepathy that we heard earlier
Yeah.
with
So-
the little gnat noises. But maybe later on this week there might be some changes. But
There might be
for
some
this
changes,
one-
and there's something that comes later that we can have some fun with. I'm curious, does the script contain what they were meant to have said that is replaced, whatever their mental telepathy is?
It does not. The script does not have a placeholder dialogue for what would be asked or said at the time. It does have a description of what their powers are, and it actually gives them all names. And believe it or not, I don't think it came across in this minute or the minute we're about to see. They specifically have purposes. The different actual
They have
human
different roles,
characters
yeah.
have different roles.
Well, so in the pre-pro to the minute, you teased us that they break down each of the characters, a true character description almost
A little
in the
bit.
script. would it be appropriate at this point? We know we have 5 of these individuals.
Right.
Brent is brought into an old Hello Dolly set from Grand Central Station that
You have only had like a sip of beer. What's going on?
he's brought in. There are 5 individuals, and they begin talking to him through buzzes. So at this point, why don't we just describe what they are?
I'll introduce them based upon how the script has them.
Okay.
Now, Mendez, do you remember last week we talked about that bust, the Mendez dynasty?
Okay.
And I think we
That's
even
the guy
talked-
in the middle, right?
Right, the guy at the very middle. It was supposed to be, we talked about it's supposed to be going from bust to his face would have been really appropriate so that we can connect those two. Otherwise, we have no idea that he's royalty.
Yeah.
Right? Other than what was in the script.
He looks like a poor man's Cliff Robertson, by the way.
Okay, yeah.
So it says Mendez in purple, and he's got that kind of pastel purple that he's wearing. It's a very Easter purple, and I kind of wonder if that's implied royalty, right?
Okay.
Possibly.
Good. I like
so
that.
Mendez in purple sits between and physically dominates 4 other inquisitors, robed in different colors. A magnificent, you ready for this one? Negro
No.
clad in white.
All right.
He will be continued to be called Negro throughout the script.
Which, let's go ahead and lay this out, Richard, and I pre-read this too. There are 2 objectionable names references to these individuals that we will reference throughout the week, and we'll discuss some little tidbits about it.
Well, yeah. So, a magnificent Negro clad in white. In the movie, he's actually kind of in a yellow, more of a kind of a pale yellow. A serene fat man in red.
Oh.
I mean, these are very descriptive. These are very specific character types that they want for this role.
So you're being cast as Fat Man, so you got to come in for an audition. No, you're not fat enough. You're not Fat Man for
You
me.
got to bulk up for me.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
A strikingly beautiful woman,
Agreed. She's a very lovely lady.
Albina. Now she's named.
So Albina, is that a play against? We have Negro as
And
Albina.
albino.
I would imagine
Albino
so.
is it? I mean, wow.
I assume that's where they're going with it.
Seems obvious.
She's in blue.
Mm-hmm.
The remaining chair on Mendez's right is occupied by a green-robed elder statesman, charming, cheerful, rather puckish, called Caspay.
Okay.
Not
I wanna say
cosplay.
I like cosplay. I like-
Caspay.
Can we just rename him cosplay?
So it's kind of interesting. Mendez, who we talked about earlier, he's named,
Mm-hmm.
obviously because he was used earlier. Albina is named. Caspay is named. And Negro and Fat Man are simply described as Negro and Fat Man throughout the rest of the script. It's like a show. Negro and Fat Man.
Are these people supposed to have the sexy lips for like the priest in the earlier minutes?
It
Maybe.
didn't give that didn't go that descriptive on it.
So let's do some of what we do with. Let's talk about who these people are real quick.
Okay.
Mendez obviously seems to be kind of the leader of this group. He's the center
He's in the
staged
center, yeah.
person. And as it goes around.
In the script, they have them sitting, and here they're standing.
Oh, that's true. So he also, it's almost like he looks around at them and almost instructs them what to ask. So this is played by a gentleman named Paul Richards. Paul Richards. God, I cannot talk.
Mendez?
Yes, Mendez. He has an extensive TV history, Mod Squad, Hawaii Five-0, Bonanza, Gunsmoke. I mean, it was around forever. However, he continues the spooky trend of people that died shortly
Right
after
after
being
making
in. He died in 1974
Wow.
at the age of 50, very young.
This movie not only killed careers, it killed people.
Yeah, and I really. At some point when we're done with this, I may have to look at the major cast and crew and see how many died quickly after being in a Planet of the Apes.
Find out there's Curse of the Planet of the
They
Apes.
died of
Ooh,
embarrassment.
that sounds like a good Planet of the Apes movies.
Yeah.
Ooh, I quit talking. I just
You're
added
done.
an S
Good
for
night.
no reason. Anyway, so we've got him in the middle. We hear the buzzes when they're talking to Brent, but he looks around at people without the buzzes. Is he speaking to them through telepathy and we just don't hear the buzz?
You mean Brent talking to them as
No,
well?
Mendez.
Mendez is
Mendez-
looking at other
He
people.
does. He seems to direct them. He seems to
Yes.
one will answer, and then he will look at them as if he's telling them to consider. Now,
Well, maybe it's because we're supposed to be relating with Brent, so we only hear the buzzing when they're talking to Brent because we're him.
I thought that too. I
Ah,
did
that's
think
a good idea, yeah.
this is only our perspective. And the thing I like is they're consistent with it. That's really, if you're going to be that, it needs to be there. Again, if it was today, you would have definitely the whispers
Yeah.
of the too many voices and things and distractions. It feels so dated, but I wonder if this wasn't like shockingly,
What's going on?
they're talking with their minds at that time.